Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you're enjoying the presentation on our See Good Incredible Hour together. My next guest doesn't need a lot of introduction, but for those of you who might be under 20, and I know you're watching in too, if you've ever watched Officer and a Gentleman, Roots, Fiddler, and Watchmen, then you know who I'm about to bring on. The wonderful Oscar winner, Louis Gossett Jr., is with us on See Good TV. And we're going to have a heart to heart conversation about what he thinks post COVID is going to look like and how he feels. I don't know, maybe goodness will prevail. Mr. Gossett, welcome
Mm,
to See Good TV. Do you think we're going to become a better humanity finally?
I think we already are, and we are becoming that from what I see in the streets and on the television, improvement, a disappearance of the dark clouds. And when we see each other and we see each other all right, we are happy. And that's the creation of mankind. We have to remember that this modern society is a young infant. Before that modern society became modern, there were some primitive things that certain rules that we learned that we need to return back to, which is the answer to any kind of virus, socially, physically, or spiritually. Now we get into that ammunition for our mutual love and care for one another to disappear that pandemic.
Now, you started a foundation called Eracism many years ago before all of this is like percolating so much. We've just
Mm-hmm.
recently lost another African American who was just jogging down the street and was
Mm-hmm.
shot by two Caucasian, a father and a son. How does your foundation, when you look at the need for goodness in the world, how will your foundation help someone like that father and son who seem to be at a loss to the fact that we're all children of God?
Oh boy, that's a full, well-loaded question
Mm,
because initially it's not very popular amongst the American African people. But I want us to think that as much as we object to those white people killing that young innocent man, how come we don't object when that night 10 black men killed 10 black men? So there's a balance that must be done for us to get to the truth of what racism is. They want us to reject, to react in a certain way so that we're not going to be able to vote. And I see more of it happening this summer. But we have to keep our focus on taking care of our own children so that they don't kill one another.
mm.
So that man, his death causes this overexplosion of obstinate, angry people. But we should be obstinate and angry by losing our own sons to one another. We need
Mm,
to clear the air and see who's in charge. And it's definitely not me, and it's not those or us, it's God. So we have to be clear.
beautiful.
So the worst resentment sometimes we can have is the one we feel justified to keep. That's in relationships, politics, and war. And let's take a deep breath now and get to God's truth, not ours. It's a bigger picture.
Beautiful. So let's move on to the entertainment industry. Right now, I mean, from the major entertainment studios, shows, they've all now are staying home, Lou, and they're filming their shows from home. Have you given any thought about how you think the entertainment industry has changed and will continue to change?
It will continue to change, and it's amoeba that's going to grow and because it's important that this information gets to a public. So we're creating new ways to get to the public, and more voices can be seen and heard now than were before because it was under control. Kind of a racism right there. The racism is disappearing.
Oh, I love that. Wow,
So,
I
so
love that.
whether we like it or not, some of us like it, some of us don't. Those people who think that we're victims of it, sometimes we perpetrate it because we don't know any better. But God could and would if He was soft. And He is making sure that when we come out of this sequestration and these little holes and we check ourselves out in a purification, that everybody gets to know everything about everyone. It takes mankind to save mankind.
Beautiful, well said. I can see the entertainment industry has shifted tremendously, and I'm sure everyone's thinking about what next, which is what I love about See Good TV, you know, in the palm of
Mhm.
your hands. You can watch and see just about everything that will keep your spirit evolved. I like their saying, you are what you watch. And I
Yeah.
think that speaks volumes. I was talking this morning about how the astronauts they prepare when they go into space, and then they're in space for about a year, and when they come back down they have to go into like a halfway house, similar
Hmm.
to when a prisoner comes out of prison. They have to kind of be in a little bit of an incubation period to adjust to coming outside of the real world, so to speak. How do you think we're going to come out of this past COVID? What is your vision and what are your recommendations for us to practice to be able to come out a renewed version of ourselves?
We need to practice our re-entrance right now before we re-enter. We need to prepare, I think, steps, and we know what they are, to get back to the basics, something that we all can identify with. When we say prayers, we have to know what those words mean. When we do things on a daily basis, we have to reconnect to that power that's going to help us. Once again, there's that magic word, meditation. We will get the proper message if we become perennial, eternal students of the divine message. There's some beliefs today, even today, where people stop and get that communication 4 times a day. They get themselves humbled to get a divine message.
Mm.
We have stuff to do together and share with one another what's the best way for us to be together when we come out of this dark hole that God has put us in.
It is amazing. You've lived a full life and you continue to live a full life. It's
It's like,
time. It's time for us to keep
it's
helping each
time.
other up. Yeah.
Very exciting.
How do you think we can amplify the love that we so frequently talk about? Because you hear it, but you don't see it all the time.
Well, I see it all the time now. I've,
Mm.
my eyes have been focused. What I see now, because in times of what should be desperation is not, it's times of inspiration. And it comes from the ancient rules of the oldest civilizations ever to be recorded on the planet. And that ancient rule is whatever you do is for the benefit of the whole tribe. So when you're 3 to 5 to 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10, you gather seeds, you milk the goats, then you bring the food in when you're older, and then you have the babies, and then you become a warrior, and all of that. Everybody in that group is done something on a daily basis, naturally, for the benefit of the whole. Now that philosophy is what mankind is trying to get to right now, and I see it happening when people bring food, masks, advance with smiles and salutes. It's happening globally that hasn't happened in years. So I get a chance to see this phenomena of people. Hopefully they realize what they're doing. They're reaching out for one another with love. Once again, that's the divine energy. That's not the devil, it's God.
It's definitely divine energy. Thanks so much for joining us on our See Good special event, and hopefully you'll stay a continued friend and supporter of the work here. It's something that I deeply believe in. And when I look at you and I think of you, you're just all good. And so
You
we
too.
thank you so much for joining us.
You too.
Many
Say that
blessings.
I can't do without you.
Many blessings.
Many blessings.